you tell me a little bit about Playworks?
Sure. Playworks is a national nonprofit that focuses on promoting recess and play in schools all across the country to promote learning and physical activity.
So why is recess so important for kids?
I think recess really represents now one of the only and definitely the most concentrated period of time for kids to actually be outside and playing and being physically active. So many changes around how kids play after school and out of school hours have really eliminated opportunities. So play has become really the last best hope for getting kids moving.
How can we rethink play?
You know, when I was growing up, there was this whole informal education that went on. The older kids in the neighborhood taught us the rules to games and how you resolve conflicts and just basically how you navigated the world through play. And that's really fallen away. And so I think we need to be really conscious about, especially in rethinking education, in making sure that we carve out times for kids to explore their leadership and teamwork and empathy and all the change making that play enables. So it has to be a priority. And in these times when there's so much of an emphasis on really narrow metrics, it's easy to overlook.
What role do you think that this plays in reshaping the education system?
I think recess is absolutely critical to the whole reform movement and as an element for framing, because this emphasis on targeted interventions as opposed to school-wide climate changes, I think misses the point that ultimately there's 60,000 public elementary schools out in this country, and if we're going to really systematically change them, it's not going to be one silver bullet. It's going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of small tweaks, paying attention to the vast majority of kids' experiences. So play and coming in school-wide represents a change in that vein. And I think in that way, our success and our ability to prove scale becomes all that much more important.
Great. So what are you hoping to gain from the conference?
Well, you know, anytime I can get out and talk about why play is so important and why our work is so significant and why, frankly, the path to scale that we've chosen is one that merits investing in, I'm happy to do it. But I hope ultimately we'll drum up some investors and we'll sort of introduce ourselves to people who can open doors for us. And we're in 23 cities now across the country. And so the whole point of going big with that flagship model was to get the word out, and this is part of that.
So it's hard to make change in the public school system. What have you learned after working in the school system all these years?
You know, I think we've been successful in navigating urban public education because when we go in to meet with principals, we don't try and sell them on our agenda. We meet them where they are. We come to them and we say, look, I know you're being held to these standards of accountability, and this is what we offer to help you get there. And I think meeting them there and being there to help them do what they need to do has really been the key to our success.